So give thanks for everything. Everything? Surely not everything. I'm sorry. Give thanks for everything. Because every event of life is a miracle, as is life itself. Life is designed to provide your soul with the perfect tools, the perfect circumstances, the perfect conditions with which to realize and experience, announce and declare, fulfill and become who you really are. You see, that's what we're up to. This organization happens to be called the Center for Spiritual Growth for a reason, because that's what we're here for, is to grow our awareness, to deepen our understanding of who we really are. If we knew who we really are, the world would be a very different place. Because we would all understand that each one of us was the living embodiment of divinity itself. And I'm sure that you know some exceptions to that. There are some people who step on your toes, push your buttons, and make you crazy. People that you just want to grab and squeeze until there's nothing left. I know that's the case, because there are people that I'd like to do that to. But the reason those people are in our lives are for the very purpose of enabling us to declare who we really are. That we understand that all beings are expressions of divinity. Each one of them is that. And that's why we're here. That's what this is all about. So when it comes time to look at your brothers and sisters, those who are hammering on your buttons, judge not, and neither condemn. Love your enemies. Pray for your persecutors. And embrace every moment and circumstance of life as a treasure. A perfect gift from a perfect Creator. Is it your thinking that somehow omnipotence, the all-powerful, all-knowing, divine, has made a mistake? Has forgotten somebody? Is that your thinking? Well, I suggest that those concepts are really oxymoronic. They can't exist together. You can't have omnipotence, omnipresence, infinite unconditional love, and forget in the same breath. You can't have them together. And if it's your thinking that the divine is perfect, and if it weren't, we'd be in a lot of trouble. If that is your thinking, then we have to excise the erroneous belief that a mistake has been made, that something has been forgotten. I say to you, there is no such thing as bad luck. Nothing happens by accident. There are no coincidences, and God does not make mistakes. All is in divine order. And how can that be? How can such a chaotic world be in divine order? How can it be the will of God that all this crud is happening? How can there be so much war and strife and upset and turmoil and suffering in the world and have it be the will of God? And it's actually quite a simple answer. The will of God is that we get to choose what it is we experience. We get to create. And all of that is the result of our effort to create circumstances that lead us to a deeper level of understanding of our true nature. When we realize who we really are, we have the opportunity to grow, and we can actually step up and create a greater version of ourselves than the world has ever seen. We can do that if we're willing. If we're willing to take on gratitude. Thank you for this disaster. Seems like a paradox, seems like not possible. But understand that each of us is participating in a joint venture. We have conspired with ourselves to create the perfect situation in which we can grow. And if it weren't for these situations, we couldn't grow. Because you see, growth comes from experiencing everything. And this is a world of duality. It is simply not possible to experience ourselves as magnificent if there isn't something other than magnificent. If we don't have something, some reference datum, some reference point, we don't know, we can't experience ourselves as magnificent. We can think we're magnificent, but until we've actually had the experience of being less than that, or being in the presence of less than that, we can't possibly experience what it's really like to be magnificent. So that is the reason that we have engaged in this gigantic fiction. It's a great illusion. It's necessary. It's a necessary illusion in order to have an experience. And an experience is very different than knowledge. Knowledge is perfect. Knowledge has no room for mistakes or errors or misunderstandings of any sort. Knowledge exists in heaven, if you will. And experience is what we're up to. We are planning the process by which we can have an experience of a greater version of ourselves. The world has seen us in ever-increasing grandness. We have been making progress, each one of us. Even those of us who some would brand as fools or turkeys. Because that is what it's all about. We are after having an experience, an actual experience of magnificence, of forgiveness, of unconditional love. And in order to have that experience, we have to have a contrast. You can't have an experience without a contrast. You can't experience delicious unless you actually had yucky in your mouth. It can't happen. And that's the reason that the will of God is that we get to create all of the conceivable experiences there are. And we have conceived of some really bad experiences. They're not fun at all. People have suffered. People have appeared to die. The truth is that there is no death. Bodies come and bodies go, but spirit is eternal. Spirit does not change and is eternal. And we have the opportunity to return ourselves to the world of spirit on a permanent basis. But we probably aren't going to get around to that until we've had all of these other experiences, until we consciously choose for ourselves the presence of infinite love as ourselves. That's what we're up to, is choosing that. Choosing it all the time. Not just on Sunday afternoon when somebody says nice to you, you say, yes, thank you. I love you too. No, it's not just that. It's in all other situations. That's why we say give thanks for everything. Everything. Even what looks like an unmitigated disaster. Even what looks like the worst possible outcome. So what we're up to is having experiences of ourselves as grander versions of ourselves than we were yesterday. We're about growing, and we can't grow unless there's something to grow through, to grow around. So we give thanks for all of the angels who have taken on the role of devil and shown up in our lives to make us crazy, to make us wish that we had a baseball bat to bless their right ear with. We've done that. Who amongst us hasn't? I dearly.
His short-term memory is in question.
He takes an axe.
No.
A chainsaw. We've all had the desire to engage in personality adjustment for somebody else. Whatever form it takes. Even minor irritation is a belief in separation and judgment. And until we give up our willingness to judge and condemn, we are not quite there. There's room for improvement. There's always room for improvement, and that's what we're up to. So, there really are only angels. There really are only blessings. Gratitude is literally the fastest form of healing. Because what you resist persists, and what you are grateful for can then serve you as it was meant to do. You see, nothing is happening by accident. Nothing is happening because of a coincidence or a mistake. God isn't testing you or punishing you. Each of us, at some level, has been involved in the creation of our lives. Creation goes on at 3 different levels. The superconscious, or the soul level, knows all, is aware of its divinity, and chooses to engage in these experiential events that happen in our lifetime. Our conscious mind is what we adjust to on a daily basis that gives us the opportunity to make choices now, in the here and now. And our subconscious mind is that part of our mind that creates our existence. It's what grows our hair and our fingernails. It's what beats our heart and breathes our lungs. It's what keeps the body functioning while it's used as a communication device. So all three levels of our awareness are taking part in the creation of our life. And we are, most of us, in a conscious state, not aware of our superconscious state. Some are, but most aren't. So people will say, well, I wouldn't choose that. I never choose that. When my daughter first heard that she'd chosen me in reincarnation planning, she said, "You're nuts. I wouldn't have chosen you for all the tea in China." And that is probably true. The conscious self doesn't make those difficult choices. It's the superconscious self that engages in that process of planning a lifetime of experience, of learning to be a grander version of yourself than you were yesterday. And that's what we're all up to. So, if you would heal your life, if you would create a grander version of yourself than yesterday, be thankful for all the stuff that is in your life. There's a wonderful book by Byron Katie, who's really an awake person. She's got it together. She understands both from a superconscious, conscious, and subconscious standpoint who she really is. So she really does have it together, all three levels of her understanding. And this book is called Loving What Is. Because to the extent that you don't love what is, you're arguing with reality. It is what it is. And so what are you going to do about it? Look for the blessing. Because everything, even those unmitigated disasters, are blessings. They're well disguised at times. And our mission is to see the blessing, to see what it is that we can experience in growing our awareness of our own divinity. And that's what we're after. An awareness of our own divinity, so that it becomes, yes, I am that. Not, oh, not me, I'm not good enough. You are up to learning that you are perfect. Everything is perfect. It's unfolding in a perfect way to allow us to experience ourselves as who we really are, and to continue this eternal process of growing our awareness of our own divinity. So it really is. It's all perfect. Life is perfection playing itself out. And you can play the game or not. You are always in charge. And now it's open.